All right, perfect. Good deal. Is it episode 14?
It is 14.
It is 14? Okay.
I do keep track of a few good things.
All right. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 14. We got it down this time.
We're getting up there. Getting up there. We got a lot of catching up to do.
We did.
14 is good.
I'm still blaming it on the hurricane, man.
Yeah,
The hurricane brain threw me off.
I just can't think about you canoeing in the middle of the lake.
It was so much fun.
Or the middle of the street.
Yeah, I was
that
going to
looked
say,
like
the
a
middle of
lake.
the street.
With your bottle of rum, driving down in the canoe.
Yeah, a little Palante Rum.
There you go.
Which is awesome because we actually have the owner of Ron Palante, the distiller himself, Eddie, in the studio today.
Hey guys, how's it
Eddie,
going?
welcome to the show.
Thank you. I want to make a quick clarification there. I'm not the distiller himself, but I do work with the distiller closely. I'll talk about the story and how we are really close to the distiller. I wish I was capable of doing that, but I'm not the distiller.
All right, sounds good. So, rum, it's a big game. There's a lot of different flavors out there. I think liquor in general, there's a lot of different, brands coming out. How do you separate yourself and how do you go, all right, I'm going to be better than, say Papa's Pilar, some other kind of, a different kind of rum.
Or beat the guys that have the name.
Yeah.
Captain Morgan, the ones that have the name for rum, might not necessarily be the best rum, but how do you beat those guys that have that name and the branding and the marketing behind it?
Yeah, man, that's a great question, and one that we definitely ask ourselves every day and look at new ways of attacking. The way we kind of go about it is by trying to modernize rum. Rum is this really crazy landscape where it's kind of the Wild West. There's no rules when it comes to anything like that. You can make rum just about anywhere. Even like some people don't know that sugarcane grows in Mexico, or that there's a lot of it. Mexico is actually the 5th largest producer of sugarcane in the world. So when that comes, some of the uniqueness that comes to us is by being a Mexican rum, being able to have that differentiator, especially with Mexico being so popular at the moment, and also having a different style of rum. Yeah, I'm sure you've had some really funky rum, some rums that have a lot of molasses or a lot of additives to it. So that's kind of our goal of finding that balance, that middle grounds that the consumer is really going to love and fit in any place without having those additives alongside with the brand.
Oh, that's awesome. And, me and Jeremy, I actually made a rum and pineapple for him earlier.
It was good. Cool. Different flavor.
Yeah.
Which one did you guys use for it?
So I used the reposado, which threw me off because, I've never seen reposado blanco on a rum bottle, and it threw me off. And because somebody asked, it's like, oh, is it tequila? I'm like, no, it's rum. Mm-hmm. And I was actually really excited to ask you, how do you make it a reposado? How is it rum using a tequila, slogan kind of?
Right. So I love that you asked me that. That is part of the reason why we want to do it. It's definitely eye-catching to see it, especially with the tequila craze. But a few points. Facuna Bacardi had Blanco and Añejo rums before tequila was even a thing, before tequila even existed. So Blanco and Añejo were always words that were used, and tequila popularized reposado as a whole because it essentially means rested. And so within the laws of tequila, it means rested for 6 months or maybe a little bit longer. I think there's an age range within there. And that's essentially what we followed to show some of that us following those laws, even though we don't necessarily have to, but to give some familiarity. And also we're made in Mexico. So there's the association of us also being a Mexican product. And there's also other Mexican rums that are only sold in Mexico at the moment, or a very few that are out here in the States that also have reposado rums. At the end of the day, it just means rested. So this is a rum that's rested in ex-bourbon American white oak barrels.
Okay, so it's in the bourbon barrels is what it's being aged in.
Yeah, which is a unique point, which I don't know if you guys want to go by rum specifically, but I have a unique aging process for the Añejo that uses a different barrel that nobody else uses that I'd love to dive into at some point as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you like to dive in now into that?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. So yeah, with the añejo itself, which is this one behind me, the turquoise and orange label. This one is aged in two different barrels. It's two different barrel programs. It's a blend of 8 to 11 years. And I write 8 years on the bottle because that is the youngest rum in there. We're not Solaris system. I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you it's an older rum. And the two different barrels you use is ex-bourbon American white oak, and my distiller actually washes that oak out washes the oak out because he doesn't want any whiskey to touch the rum. He's a rum purist. He wants just the oak to touch the rum. And the other barrel we use is Mexican white oak, and that is virgin Mexican white oak. And we have a species that grows in Chiapas, which is a state that we're in Mexico, and it's very similar to French oak. So it imparts some tobacco and leather notes and really gives it this color. We have no caramel, no additives to this rum, and the color comes directly from that virgin Mexican white oak.
Yeah, and honestly, when I tried that, because I think I didn't get the flavor I thought I was going to get. You know, when you see something and you're like, oh, you know, I know what that's going to taste. It was really good. I just didn't see it coming.
I love to hear that.
To something different. You thought it was something.
It was just like looking at the color. I expected it to have like some kind of flavor. I knew it wasn't a flavor looking at it, you know, on the label, but I was ready for some kind of like coffee or some kind of flavor.
Maple or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was great that I didn't get it because it's delicious, but I was expecting it. And when I tried it, I was like, well, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain dryness to the rum, especially with having no sugar added to it, and no caramel or anything. So it's that dryness, and you just get a lot of oak. It's a great sipping rum. It's a great to drink and have a cigar with. I love putting in Manhattans and some bougie stirred alongside some tiki cocktails. It's a super versatile rum, and I love that it surprised you. That's great to hear.
It did. You know, like I said, very pleasantly surprised. Just. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often where I taste something. I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And now, coming up when me and Jeremy were talking, and we're like, man, how do you come up? Like, I'm gonna make rum today.
So how do you get into the world of rum? Do you just roll over one day, wake up in bed, and say, I'm going to make rum from Mexico? Is your family in the business, or?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that. So. Essentially we have a team of a few founders, but the two main founders, you know, that are kind of the front facing ones are my brother and I. My brother is about nine and a half years older than me. He's based up in New York, so he runs that market up there, and I'm down here in Florida. But him and I grew up hearing about our dad's heyday on the island. Our dad used to distill rum for Havana Club back in the 80s. So that was pre Pernod Ricard, a bunch of stuff changing over there on the islands when they're just focused on making some rum. And this is the Havana Club, not the Bacardi one that moved to Puerto Rico and all that. The one
when
that
he was making it, was he making out of the bathroom, or was this like legal, or was he just like, let's
no,
make
he was one of the proper
and
distillers there.
He was
worked for Havana Club. Yeah. So we do have a story of him, you know, having a pot still in our garage. So growing up, we would hear about his heyday, and then growing up, he did have a mini pot still in his garage that he played around with and made certain brandies and aguardientes that we'd play with. And so I got out since 9 years old. I was learning about the scientific process of all this and how rum is made and all the variations that it can be with all the funkiness and molasses and all that. And with that's where my dad working at that distillery, that's where we met our current master distiller. So our current master distiller is Jorge Perez. He was the head of beverage for Cuba, essentially, for a little over 10 to 15 years, while he also distilled at Havana Club. Then he emigrated over to Mexico. So he's in Chiapas, and we partnered up with him because he's like an uncle to my brother and I. And that's our relationship with our distiller and why the confusion might have been there.
That's amazing. Now,
yeah,
with that, you're in Florida.
Right.
Are you in any other states right now?
So New York is a great state for us. We're a little bit in New Jersey, and we're in Pennsylvania as well. Oh. We're really focused on going narrow and deep. We can ship to all 50 states through our website, but distribution where it's bars and liquor stores is just those states.
All right. Well, at least you got the Northeast. That's up near my neck of the woods.
Oh yeah, where are you from?
Originally from Cape May, New Jersey.
Okay.
But
Okay, that's cool.
that's what Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers,
Dolphins.
Shut your mouth. Now, there's been a lot of a lot of news in the podcast world. Eddie, did you get a chance to watch Joe Rogan with Donald Trump on it?
No, I've not. I've seen plenty of stuff, but I've not watched it myself yet.
One
Seen all the clips.
One thing that blew me away is that Joe Rogan films for 3 hours or better every day, well 5 days a week, and Jeremy was talking. He's like, man, we're doing like an hour a week.
We'll get up there.
And he said this guy, Trump, when he was there, he didn't pee, he didn't break, he didn't eat anything, like just on for 3 hours.
You got to be hyped. You have the president, former president, hopefully current president of the United States sitting in a chair right next to him. I mean, what do you ask this guy? Anything and everything. Plus, he's very good on the news. Let's just put it that way. He knows how to talk to people. He knows how to engage in both sides, talking about The Apprentice and talks about other things, not just go straight out. This is what I believe, and this person's this. Like, he's actually good to talk to.
Yeah. I couldn't sit here and do 3 hours straight. I would have to use the bathroom.
Let's do it.
I mean, I can't even get through without having a thing of gummy bears.
Today, 3 hours straight.
Just do 3 hours
Man, I can't imagine.
3 hours straight.
Yeah, 3 hours. I mean, just sitting at the bar trying to sell rum, I have to use the bathroom a couple of times because I'm drinking so much water. I can't imagine having a conversation for that long.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. And just for him to do that 5 days a week, that's a lot.
15 hours to get paid millions?
Well, I mean, I'd do it. I'm not saying
I wouldn't really be upset working 60 hours a month, by the way. I think I do that in 2 days now. But I wouldn't do it 60 hours a month for millions of dollars that he makes. I'd be okay. What do you think he does in the morning, evening, at night?
I feel like Joe, he did a lot of UCF stuff. I feel like he's a night guy.
I feel like he's like a 3 to 6.
Yeah, that would, get early to bed. 9 o'clock bedtime.
Yep.
That's about right. 3 to 6, I feel like it's a sweet spot for someone like that.
So, question about Palante Rum. I always wonder about the marketing strategies a little bit because I'm big into marketing and events and things like that. So, when you guys put that together, I see, and I don't know your marketing, but I see a lot of companies buyback programs. Hey, we'll send some promo girls out. We'll give you some shirts and hats and keychains. Is that what your marketing strategy is? What's your feelings about the marketing strategy just in general?
Yeah, especially being in Florida, I've seen plenty of promo girls around, and I totally understand the appeal behind that, with certain markets. But and that might work in a flashy spirit like tequila, but with how we're building our brand and how we're building rum, it's really important to us, hire internally and build people up that really understand the brand and fall in line with who we are and are authentic. So essentially the thesis of us is like authenticity is a big part of the marketing, because we have this story of coming from this world of rum, and now trying to modernize it in a way where it's a little bit more of a flashier pack. It's recycled glass. It's a bartender friendly bottle with a longer neck. Just doing a lot of things, especially where my brother and I come from this industry. I've opened up bars and I've bar backed since I was 16. So was my brother. And understanding what it takes to really fit into a bar and providing those needs within rum that I know some of these big boys maybe aren't, attuned to as much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and it's funny that you said, flashy like tequila, because it seems like even, rums, vodkas, tequila, they all have a different marketing strategy. They all have a different way, especially when they roll out their brands. Now, Jeremy, have you seen that kind of difference too in like the way they market it?
I haven't met every liquor company out there, but I feel like they all kind of do it the same.
Really?
I feel like they come in, they want to do a spend $200, $300, $400. They want you to pick up a 6-pack or 2 cases, and they'll do this $300, $400 spend. They'll give you some shirts and a bottle opener. But like, I'm sorry, I don't think that is the best strategy. I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. Obviously, they're doing it. It's got to do something. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's the best strategy. Like, you're coming in there with 2 local decent girls. You're handing out liquor that you bought for more than what I paid for it, which I gets the point.
Yeah.
I make a couple of bucks. The bottles cost me $30 a piece, let's say. I made $400 off $60 cost. But the girls aren't educated. They're not talking about the rum.
No.
They're here to try this and go to the bar. Okay, that I have a problem from a marketing standpoint. It's two promo girls that go to every bar. That mostly everybody's seen at every bar. They hired the same two to six girls.
Yeah.
And they don't really educate the bartenders.
No.
They leave the bar manager to do that, who took a little side piece in order to bring in that product. And they don't educate the bartenders, and they don't do anything with the bartenders. You know what? Instead, my opinion, instead of spending the $400 spend on the bar, give it to the bartenders. Get them. Let's run a contest. Let's see who can sell the most rum tonight, the most tequila, vodka, whatever your product is. But I'm sorry, and I'm not knocking on what you guys do, but I'm just saying in general, I think that the entire marketing industry in the liquor industry, I think, has to change.
I agree. I mean,
Joe, it's got to be the same for you. These guys come in, they talk to you, or your rep calls you and says, "Hey, I got 2 spends. Which one do you want?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll take this one and this one."
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to make I know I'm going to make $800. All right, cool. I know they're going to tip my bartender 20%, so my bartender just made like $120. So great.
Yeah.
They're going to send the same 2 to 4 girls that I've seen every month.
Yep.
They're going to give them 2 bottles. They're going to walk around and ask me for cups and a tray. And they're going to have a package of T-shirts, maybe some beads or
St. Patrick's Day. You made sunglasses.
some green sunglasses.
Yeah.
They're going to give out rum for 2 hours, swipe their card, and leave.
Yeah.
They never follow up to see if I bought more rum. They never saw how much you poured. Yeah. I get a report at the end. It's how did they do it? I'm like, 5-star. They were great, and I keep going.
Yeah.
But like, it's got to change, man. I'm sorry. And again, I'm not saying that you guys. I don't know what your guys' program is, but that whole swipe, give out by 2 promo girls and walk away is done. Why can't we sponsor a bartender? Why don't we work at bartending schools? These people are new. Why can't you say, let's sponsor a bartending school?
Yeah.
And everything you pour rum-wise has to be our rum, or everything you pour vodka-wise has to be my vodka. And the cocktails you're making this. What about speakeasies that actually care about the liquor that they post? Like, I just think the marketing out there, and I know I just went off on a tangent, but I just think the marketing aspect for the liquor industry has got to change.
Yeah, and I mean, like Eddie, it's amazing. There's been times where I've done, spends, and it's like Jeremy says, like, here, buy 6 of these, we'll come spend $200.
And what do you? And I hate to say this, what do you end up doing with that rum, vodka, or tequila?
Yeah, just throw it as a well.
I throw it at a well, or I give it at a party. Hey, you guys want? Listen, give me $300. I'll have all you can drink this rum, tequila, whiskey until it's gone. I throw 6 bottles in there. I made another $300, and I never have to buy it again. Yep. Like, I really think that the industry's got to change. They've got to do something different. Sponsor a bartender. You ever see that new thing? And I'm going off right now. You ever see that thing where the bartender and they vote for the bartender? And you get to win like $10,000 and they fight at Vegas. I'm like, I had all my bartenders.
1,800 just did that.
I had my bartenders all fighting. Hey, can you do this and share this and this? Like, we got to come with a different strategy.
Yeah.
It's like I almost want to start my own company in the liquor business just so that I can look at the marketing of it.
Man, I totally get that. That's you brought up some really great points, and I can really appreciate your perspective coming from that angle and saying all that. And I love hearing, especially being on this other side now, hearing the perspective you guys are saying, and I think it's a great way for us to be able to share these things with each other.
What do you do? What do you do different? What works for you? I mean, are you the swipe your? I mean, I know it's not you. You sell the distributors, but are the distributors come up, pick up this rum, swipe the card, give the T-shirts away, and we'll leave. We'll be there from 9 to 11.
Yeah, man. So I love that question. Obviously that's part of the game where, the distributor or whoever may be has to do certain things like that. And some of that might be out of my control. But what I focus on and where I'm on top of my activations is the way I do it is, first of all, I have high quality merchandise. I'm not going to give you a T-shirt that you're going to wash once and then never fucking wear again. Yeah. I'm going to give you a high quality T-shirt that you're proud to wear. When I do staff trainings and I have accounts now wearing our T-shirts, they're at work bartending in one of my T-shirts. The accounts that allow them to do this. And it's quality T-shirts that's going to withstand a shift or whatever it may be and hold up. I've had this shirt for over 3 years now. Oh, wow. And I've washed it a million times and it's still holding up super great, high quality. So taking care of it that way and giving you stuff that you're actually proud to wear and feel good in and look good in, right? So that's a big piece of it. Not just give you whatever. Also working on the part of education. When I'm at a place, I'm so proud of this run and what I've done and what I've learned in this industry. I want to share this with as many people as possible. So that's why I'm focused on hiring the right people and ensuring they have the right education to then keep teaching bartenders alongside me and doing that. And same thing with promo girls. If we ever go promo girl route, I'm going to pick somebody from a company and take time with them to educate them, pay them a little bit more than their own company pays them, and help them actually care about a brand. Because again, you're just trying to make a paycheck, but let me bring you something that you might actually care about for once.
Eddie, I'd rather you sit out there and pour people drinks and meet the owner.
I'll do that
meet
for
the
you.
owner
I'll do that
of
for
the
you anytime.
owner of the rum than two promo girls that don't really know.
Yeah.
I think I can market and promote the owner of the rum being out there, signing autographs, making a
it's
drink.
just a meet and greet.
I would rather I'd rather say the owner of this company made me a drink than a promo girl. Well, and I ask questions about it and stuff like that. I think now I know the owner can't be at every mixer. I get it. I get it. But some of the bigger ones, Live in Miami wants you to come out there. I mean, that would probably be a good one to go. And some of these.
Hey man, I do it for you, no problem. Don't worry, I'll come out there.
Forget Live. We're going to my place.
But no, like the promo girls. I'm sure this has happened to you too. But I mean, in the past, I've had some that just come in, swipe the card, and leave.
Do you want to hear about my last one?
Sure.
It was a promo guy.
Oh,
Different. I haven't seen that yet. How'd that go?
You want me to be the truth?
Well, yeah.
I told him to go home.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested. And with all due respect, I said, I'm not really that busy. I appreciate you, but listen, this industry, I can't have a guy walk around giving around rum. So, or tequila or vodka, whatever it is. I'm not going to say the brand, but I was like, I appreciate it, man, but this isn't going to. And I didn't blame it on that.
Yeah.
But how are you going to send me a girl that's very shy and a guy that's going to walk around here and pass out rum?
Now, I think it all depends on the atmosphere too. Like if you're in, say a speakeasy or a cigar bar, the guy's going to be a good, if he's knowledgeable on the product, knowledgeable about cigars and something like that. But if you're at a bar, no.
Are you trying to be politically correct on our show? What's going on here?
No, I'm just saying, like it would work.
Guy promo bartender
At certain
it's different
establishments,
clientele,
it would
though,
work.
different consumers,
Yeah,
man.
different
You never
clientele,
know.
it would work.
It's education.
I bet you if we were at 801 Bourbon in Key West, they wouldn't want any girl.
No, they'd be
girls.
screaming, I'm coming out, playing on the radio, too. I don't know what to tell you there, bud. Same damn thing.
But I haven't seen that yet. No, I haven't had a promo guy yet.
Yeah, I had a promo guy twice. This is the second time.
Ooh.
They hate me.
I was going to say, your rep doesn't like you.
Eddie, if you send me a promo guy, we're fighting.
Well, I mean, no, the guy I'm sending you is myself.
Okay,
so
no, we're good.
don't
We're
worry.
good. I want you, Eddie. We'll bring us out there.
But I think with these promos, like if the companies or even the distributor, instead of just going and giving free, cheap 20-cent swag, you actually went in, say, after the place closes, train the staff, let the staff drink, get them excited about the product. Because if they're excited, your stuff's going to sell.
1,000%.
There's a reason to like it. Yeah, I met the owner. He's really great. He gave me a T-shirt and told me about the rum, and he made me a drink.
Yeah.
That's something I want to get behind. Not someone that sent two promo girls out there and swipe their card. I mean, I like the $400. Don't get me wrong, and the 60, 70, 80 bucks that goes to the bartender. It's great, but
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think is a really great opportunity too is what I've tried to do, or it doesn't work everywhere, right? Because you have different numbers how you put in your drinks, but doing a competition within bartenders. Let's do a featured cocktail and let's educate your staff, and whoever sells the most of that cocktail wins, a T-shirt or whatever. Finding a way to do some sort of competition
it gets a
where
bottle.
there's incentive where the bartender is actually getting rewarded and making the bar money. That's a win-win-win across the board. So getting more creative and doing stuff like that, I think, is super important.
Yeah.
Another thing I don't understand. They make a tray. And correct me if I'm wrong. They put a tray down there. They put little samples, and they walk around and give them out. And they hope you go to the bar for a featured little sign that says $7 this. Why don't they just say, hey, I've got this rum. Come follow me to the bar. Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah, the personal
Why
attention.
wouldn't the personal attention, guy or girl, goes up to a group and says, guys, let me buy you all a drink. Take them to the bar and buy them a drink. You start conversing with them, telling them about it. Then you buy them a drink at $4, $5, $6. I think that's better. And then they come and they start doing shots. They get to the bar. That means so much more than the other thing. Than just handing me a little sippy cup of rum and pineapple or vodka and cranberry and telling me it's a blue Smurf and it's fucking red. And I'm supposed to tell you, this is great. I'm going to go to the bar and go buy one. I don't think it works, man.
Yeah, I mean, it used to. I don't think it does
Imagine
anymore.
Imagine you give me a $400 tab. You don't think I can convince people to buy it? Give me a $400 tab.
God, yeah.
Give me a $400 tab. Tell me that, but I have to buy your rum or your vodka or tequila.
Yeah.
Give me a $400 tab, and I'll turn people onto it. And I educate them at the same time. Hey guys, you know this rum's from Cuba, and you know that this, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm going off on a tangent about promo, but I think it's so important. I think it's got to change. Everything's changing these days, and I think the same thing a different day. I would much rather Eddie out there with a $400 tab.
Oh, 100%.
Buying people drinks. Even Eddie's rep or a marketing person dressed up in a 3-piece suit. Guy
someone who gives a shit about the product.
Right.
Just someone, it doesn't have to be it's just someone who gives a shit, who's knowledgeable and can teach and talk to people, because that's super important.
The promo girls care about $22 an hour and that half bottle they're taking home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
And the free pair of sunglasses and beads they're going to give to their boyfriend.
Yep.
That's literally it.
Well, and their Instagram followers.
Maybe. Speaking of Instagram followers, Eddie, what do you guys do on social media? As far as are you running contests? I mean, obviously you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it, you probably have it. I think Bumble. I think I swiped right on your rum the other day and fell in love with it. Didn't like me back though. So I guess we didn't match it on Bumble. But anyway, what is your social media? Do you have a social media company? Are you guys doing you said your brother, right? You and your brother?
No. So right now we keep everything in house. We have a.
So if I DM you, I'm DMing you. You're getting my DM.
No, so it'll not me specifically. I'm not in charge of the Instagram. My brother's on there, and we also have a chief creative officer who's essentially our CMO. We call her creative because she comes up with so much cool shit for us. Pretty much met her when we went to church when we were little, and have been friends with her since we're young, and have grown up with her. And she comes from a really extensive marketing background. So she runs that Instagram alongside with a graphic designer that makes sure our brand's on point, and then another guy who's capable of really working on Photoshop as well and coming up with flyers and everything we need. So we have a small team of 3 that focuses on the social media. And again, like I've been saying, it's authentic and organically trying to grow, because I believe in my brand and my juice that much that it's going to build little by little. And I'm not going to try to force shit down your throat or have to pay a bunch of money just to get some bots on there and not see anything really grow. So that's pretty much the team for now. Those 3, and then my brother helping out a little bit. So sadly, you won't be DMing me on Instagram if you're DMing the Palante Instagram.
Yeah, and I mean, social media, I still, it's a lot of ads now, especially on Facebook. Like you're seeing more sponsored stuff than you are people you're actually friends with. But I mean, it's still important. I mean, I see stuff on Facebook, and I'll be like, shit.
Well, 10% social media, 10% grassroots, 10%. It's 10% everything. I don't think anything is 100% or 50%. Social media might be 20, 30%, but I think of your brand, you have to do 7 or 8 things to really become that brand that people know.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's on TikTok and everybody's on Facebook, and your demographic, it goes back and forth all the time.
Yeah, I think on our Instagram, we highlight the activations we've done and give you reels and an inside look on what we're doing. Like one of the things my brother and I do is an Hermanos Palante tour, where him and I get behind some of our top accounts and we actually bartend for the guests and come up with a special menu and do a staff training beforehand and do a whole thing together. And highlight those events and show, look, this is what we're doing. We'd love to have you at the events. You're with the founding team. You're with the people who are behind this brand. We want to partake in everything with you. And that's what we kind of highlight on our social media.
You guys bartend back there?
Yeah. My brother and I will get behind the bar. He lives in New York, so we got to plan a whole trip to do it. But if you ever want me behind the bar, I'll get behind the bar, no problem.
Boss to Bartend in December. I do something every year called Boss to Bartend. So I put different bosses, I'll say, not our bosses necessarily, but bosses of different companies, and I put them behind the bar for 3 hours, 2-3 hours, and half of them don't know how to bartend. They know how to open a beer. Don't know what vodka tonic is. It's fun. And then some of them love it.
It's hilarious.
And when you tip them, they keep the tip and put it in a bucket with their name on it. So and then everyone picks a charity that they want to give to, feed the children, hungry animals, whatever you want. Yeah. And then the winner of the entire thing, all the buckets go in his, and all of it goes to his charity.
Wow.
So they're like fighting.
I love that. I love that.
Viscomi, my buddy.
They're fighting for charity.
They're literally fighting for charity. Yeah. Because if you get $300, I get $600, and he gets $800. Well, guess what? Y'all owe me your money. Put it in my bucket. I'm donating. Yeah. And I just get to donate $1,500 to my charity. We had thousands. I mean, I think we did $3,500 in 3 hours in tips.
And yeah, just for the charity.
And here's the best part: I don't pay them. They don't have to sign a napkin.
Yeah.
Nothing. Right. And they're fighting for it. Half of them are like pulling hundreds out of their pocket, put it in their it's almost like rich people fighting to see who can tip better for charity. But it's a fun thing, something like that. Something like that is what I'm saying. You bartending or people bartending is where it is. I think you're gonna do my one this year, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Boston
down.
Barton. Eddie's going to come
That's
down and do
awesome.
it.
We used to have the bed races in Key West, which was a super fun event, all for charity. They did a ton of events down there that was all charity. But
Is that ramp in the water, or is that just they race down the?
So
you make a bed.
You make a bed. So we made one that looked like the General Lee, but it has to be wheels, and then you can pick
any wheels.
Yeah, it just has to roll. But you run it down Duval Street, and it's you. I think it's 4 people per team, and then one person has to sit on the bed.
So one person, it could be a girl or a guy.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't matter. It has to be co-ed though. You can't all be guys or all be girls.
So you have 4 guys pushing one girl out of bed. That sounds like a horrible porn, but that's not what I meant by it. I meant you have 4 guys, and because girls are lighter, pushing her down the room.
I think at least one girl had to push too.
Interesting.
If I remember, it's been 15 years.
It's downhill or straight?
That's flat. It's Duval Street. So you're on that main drag and you're just running, and they got a big time
Now,
clock.
is it timed?
So it's timed. So you win fastest time, but there's also People's Choice Awards, which is charity-wise. So I think this is our first year open down there.
So it's like the Flute Hog, but it's Key West version down the street.
Yeah.
And not ramping off into the water.
Yeah, no, just running down the street. But, the first year, it was our first year open, our first bed races, and, we wanted to make a splash, and we were all drunk. And the People's Choice is by charity. So, I'd see it go up and up and up, and I think it was Rick's kept winning. I'm like, $500, I'll donate $500.
And you put in $500?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we ended up winning. I still got the plaque in my garage.
I need you to bring that in next
I
time.
will bring that in.
I want to see it. I don't believe you till I see it.
Oh, God, I'll bring it in.
With the canoe. Joe bought a house with a canoe on it.
I did. He took the canoe.
And then the owner came back and asked him for the canoe, and he gave it to him.
I did.
Well, that's a nice guy. That's a nice guy. That karma will come back.
I'm hoping
come
one
back
day. I've been a nice guy a lot. It's time to start paying it back. But now it's funny, Eddie, because you're the owner of a company, and we were talking. I think it was maybe an episode or maybe 2 episodes ago. Jeremy and I were talking about how the profit margin in restaurants it's gone down with inflation. The money coming in hasn't been able to catch up to the money going out like it used to. And a lot of people are running at like a 6, 7, 8% profit margin. But if you're doing 15% in a restaurant, you're doing good. And, we had a lot of people going back and forth about how 15 is a lot of money and too much, and it should go to the employees. And then we had somebody say that a 2% profit margin is a great number, which, blew my mind. Because
That's crazy, yeah.
I don't think I'd get out
You
of
do
bed.
$100,000 in sales, you make $2,000.
Yeah.
You can't even pay your Lamborghini payment with that.
So I have a question for our listeners. If owning a business or restaurant, just owning a business was a job that you could apply for. So you saw restaurant owner in the paper. Well, I don't use papers anymore, but
On Facebook.
yeah, you saw that job and you applied for it. How much money do you think you should make a year? Because I'm curious what people think restaurant owners make. I'm super curious.
And how much time they put into it and how much they lose every month.
Yeah.
I mean, you open a restaurant, you're in the negative when you open a restaurant.
For 3 years, 2-3 years.
Right. And it's funny because they think every restaurant owner, bar owner, nightclub owner is just rich.
Yeah.
Rich.
Got money for anything.
You've got money.
Why can't you give
I
$5
sell
grand to my charity?
$5 rums and $7 wings, and you are rich. And it's like, did you forget about the rest of it? And the government make it even harder by raising everything and the food prices and this. Like, you're not rich in the necessarily the restaurant. There's a 5% that actually get rich.
Yeah, I'd say that's even
5%.
Maybe. That actually, yeah. I mean, now restaurant groups, you can make a lot more money. With multiple restaurants, you can, if you have 12 stores doing 6%, 7%, that's great. But if you're a standalone, you can't survive off of that. Why would you want to? You work 80 hours, 90 hours a week to make pennies? Well, that's just me.
No, I mean, it comes out to $3, $4, $5 an hour.
Yeah.
And you're working 10, 15 hours a day.
Yeah. That's nuts. Now, Eddie, have you seen? Now, I'm surprised this past week, like business is starting to pick up. I don't know, Jeremy, have you seen an influx?
Yeah.
Like it's starting to feel kind of normal again.
For Florida, I think it was a storm.
That could have been.
People seem to hibernate a little bit. They had to spend extra on this and extra on that, and I'm not saying they got flooded out. Everybody got flooded out and ruined this, but I think you bought extra batteries. You were inside for 3 days. You couldn't go to work, or maybe you're a salary position. But I saw a lot of pullback a little bit because you spent your money somewhere else. Kind of like Christmas. As soon as Christmas is over, that like next week or two is dead.
Oh yeah,
because they just spent all their money on Christmas. Yeah,
no
Grandma gave them $25 in ones, but it wasn't enough, And the new PlayStation is fun at home, but that's it. So it's starting to get back there, but it's starting to become the holidays again. The cooler weather, the pumpkin spice is out, the freaking pumpkin pie is coming out, the turkey, and people are getting
a little. Your fall menu up, your drink menu up yet?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. Everything pumpkin.
I did a little apple spice too.
Just kidding.
But yeah, Eddie, have you seen a difference, just in business, travel, anything down there in South Florida?
Well, I think you bring up a good point with the hurricane, because think about how many snowbirds we have coming to Florida. My mom still takes care of some older folk down in Fort Myers, and she's had a few people not come in yet because they keep saying hurricane after hurricane hit Florida. They're like, oh, we're going to extend our time before we come down to Florida. So I think that's been a big part of snowbirds are finally starting to get here. Like you said, people are starting to spend their money again slowly after having to spend some on the batteries and all that stuff. I think now hopefully November will be a booming month. And I think, travel might have gotten back to normal in this past summer. So a lot of people were gone away from Florida. And I'm hoping everybody's coming back home and realizing, okay, this is the place to be. This is where we want to spend our money and do what we need to do. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I am too. It was September and the beginning of October was a little rough, but thank God it starts to be, feeling like it's turning around now.
It feels like it for sure. We it's funny looking at New York numbers and looking at us as New York starts to get a little bit colder, it slowly starts to trickle down, and then we start to pick up quite a bit more.
So New York sales go down a little bit in the winter?
Just a tiny bit, not the most.
But Florida, Florida, they go up for you?
Yeah, I mean, New York still does really well. It's more so like the January and February where it starts really ticking down, because that's already after holidays, and then that's when the winter really starts to kick in up there. So I think that's kind of the norm for up north. Whereas we're still doing well February, March for the most part, because people are New Year still motivated to spend some money, hopefully.
We're gonna make an event just for you in the wintertime. The downhill skiing or something like that, where we can.
Yeah, sounds good.
Love it.
We're gonna do downhill skiing.
And we also do, Eddie. We did do a little skit at the end of every episode called "Come On, Karen." So, basically we'll have people send us reviews that they've gotten from different restaurants that they've worked at, and then we'll kind of dissect it. And I was at the CBI food show today. Went up there last night, got a hotel room in Orlando, and then was at the show all day today. And come on, Karen! Come on, Karen!
Come on, Karen!
Ran into one of the kitchen managers that I've known for a couple of years. He's like, "Man, I got this review, and it's really pissing me off. I have to say something." I was like, "All right, what's your review? Tell me." So I'm trying to remember the exact wording off the top of my head, but it was Maria something or another, and said, went in, got the cheesesteak, then got fries, then got drink, staff stupid, I hate you. And I'm like, all right, well, that's ridiculous. And then he starts going down. And then just gets all these 1-star reviews from different accounts with no, they've never done reviews before. And so he's like, I think this guy just created 20 Google accounts to leave bad reviews. And no shit, That's what it looked like.
Like one after another every
One
5
after
minutes.
another. And like the
He
one
logged in and logged out, logged in and logged out.
Yeah, and it's all different usernames. Just giving this one, and all the other 1-star reviews are just no words. It's just 1 star all the way down. And he's like, I'm gonna respond. I'm like, well, what are you gonna say? He's like, I'm doing it now. And he goes, I'm sending it. All it said, and I can't wait. I'll show it to you because I'm sure it's up there now. It says, fuck you. All it said.
From the company name.
The company name.
So
all it
from
said.
Bob's Restaurant.
man.
Wow.
I don't know if I can condone that. That's
No,
insane.
like
Fuck
I
you
would never
specifically.
do it, but I bet you he felt so good for about 30
Yeah.
seconds until
30 seconds.
somebody above him saw that, and I'm sure.
Was he the kitchen manager?
Yeah.
He formerly or current?
Oh, as of current this morning when I talked to him, I don't know now.
Wow.
But I thought he's telling me.
Did he do it on each one of the reviews?
Just the one. I mean, he
I
may
think I
have. He
would have
just
done
did it on the
all
one.
20 of the bots. I would have done it.
But I just like, he did it, and I'm like, you are my come on Karen story today. Like,
Yeah, he
holy
did.
I love to hear it.
shit.
How do you really feel?
Yeah. But I bet you, man, there was 30 seconds where he was just like, I feel fantastic.
And then the phone
It's a
call.
short
Yeah,
30
and then
seconds.
he probably got fired.
And then he called you. Do you have a kitchen manager position open? Yeah, but you can't touch my Google review.
Yeah, not allowed on Google.
It is crazy how much people look at those reviews.
Yeah. And I mean,
No,
I
they
get
matter.
it. To
And
have
they're
20
control-
people, 21 stars, that's going to crush your rating.
Yeah, he just went from a 4.7 to a 3.1.
No. And I even asked him, I'm like, man, do you like know who this was? Like, any idea? He's like, I have no idea. The review he left doesn't even make any damn sense.
But his 18 friends that applied,
Yeah.
don't make freaking sense.
And they were all pissed off.
The liquor company, do you guys have Google reviews on yours?
Oh no, man! Thank God. I mean, I guess you can like ABCs and Total Wines. Not to give anybody any ideas, but you can put reviews up there. But it should be especially as a business, you should be able to reach out to Google or whoever it may be to fucking take these down because that's a bit much to bring you down from 4.7 to 3.1 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there's no I mostly get my feedback in person from what I've had, so it's a little bit easier to manage.
Google liquor reviews. We've got a new company. Liquor reviews.
Just start our own webpage, liquorreviews.com.
Liquorreviews.com.
Don't steal it.
That might be a thing already. Honestly.
I was going to say,
Might be able to
I
just
would
Google
think that website's probably still already out there. And if not, before we post this episode, we're going to buy it.
I'm already on it.
There you go.
But yeah, Eddie, I appreciate you coming on. Super big fan of the rum. I'm actually going to put it out this weekend, and we're going to have it on special Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, sounds great, man. That's awesome. I wish you guys were a little bit closer, else I'd make up the trip just to get some drinks. But it's probably not the best idea to drink and drive 4 hours.
Yeah, no, that would be.
I definitely don't condone that. But that's awesome, man. Looking forward to definitely meeting you guys in person and coming up there and spending some quality time up there with you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Let me know when you're up here. And when we head down to because we take trips down to South Florida here and there. We'll hit you up when we're in South Florida too.
Yeah, sounds great. I'm also we do a lot of work in Orlando. We're the official rum sponsor of Orlando City and the Orlando Pride. So next time I'm in Orlando, I think that's fairly close to you guys.
Oh, God, yeah, you're
I'll shoot you guys a
45
text as
minutes
well.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, a little bit closer to Miami for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
I want to make the Miami trip.
I
On
do.
the way
I
Key
want to go to
West.
Miami.
On the way to Tata's for us or whatever it was.
Oh, the Tats for Tatas.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did they have that
they did. They had the event.
in the hurricane?
No, they did it the week after.
So they postponed it.
Yeah, they postponed it.
And why didn't we go?
We were recovering from the hurricane.
You were canoe there.
I was canoeing.
Canoeing.
Well, yeah, Eddie, thank you so
Thank you
much.
again, Eddie.
Cool, man.
Remember,
Appreciate you guys.
everyone, new episodes every Friday. And Instagram, Facebook,
Where are you
and
going with this?
TikTok.
Like,
I forgot where I was
You're pointing
going.
at me like I should know something.
I'm like, come on, bail me out.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's all good. But yeah, thanks, y'all, and we will see you next week. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought.